So, let me start off by shouting out to my South Floridian homies, South Florida peeps. I'm not even going to ask you how you're living this morning. Instead, I'm going to ask, has life ever been better than it is this morning? Seriously, has there ever been a better time to be an 8 seed from the Miami metro area? Apparently, this is the secret to dominating the postseason, being 8 and being from South Florida. Because as incredible as the Heat have been, the Panthers just managed to beat them to an Eastern Conference title. That's right. Florida Panther fan, today is your day. I'm pretty certain, probably have to check with Stucknut, but I'm pretty certain that I have never spent an entire opening segment on the Florida Panthers.
And I mean ever.
Maybe the last time they made a run to the Stanley Cup Final. Maybe. And how long ago was that? 27 years ago. Right around smack off 3. However, today, Panther fan, you're earning your shine. National shine. International shine. Or at least the Panthers are earning some shine. Or if I'm going to get really specific with it, Chucky is earning some shine, a.k.a. Matthew Tkachuk, a.k.a. Keith's kid. I used to interview the old man. Love the old man. God, what a player. Old man was so tough. Love Keith Tkachuk. However, Chucky here is the son of one of the 10 best American hockey players ever. But the way things are going, Chucky is going to end up on that list himself. The way things are going, sacrilegious as it may sound, Chucky may fly right by Pops. The way things are going, I don't want to get crazy with it, but Chucky might end up near the very top of that list because this dude just had one of the most amazing playoff series in the history of that sport. So, of course, when it came down to the literal final seconds of a tied Game 4 last night, with a chance to advance to the final, there was only one dude who was going to find the back of the net. One dude who was going to light the lamp and send Florida to their second ever Stanley Cup Final. And, of course, that dude was Chucky. 2 thoughts. One of my favorite topics ever. Why is it that certain guys always play their best when it matters most? Why is it that some guys, regardless of sport, can always raise their game when the pressure is greatest? He's one of those guys. My second thought. How about Keith Tkachuk? How must this guy feel seeing his kid do that? I know how I felt when I saw my kid work out of a bases-loaded jam against Laguna Hills in high school baseball. The hell must this guy think seeing his kid do this on the biggest stage ever to lead his franchise into the Stanley Cup Final? And if that was not epic enough, incredibly enough, this is why I'm so hyped on this, that was Chucky's 3rd game-winning goal of the series. Not of the postseason. His 3rd game-winning goal of this series. You heard that right. Dude scored the OT winner in Game 1, then the OT winner in Game 2, then delivered the fatal blow to the Canes with 4.3 seconds left in Game 4. It's the kind of thing you imagine when you're skating around on the pond as a kid or on rollerblades in the driveway. Except nobody has an imagination that wild. Nobody would ever dream something like that. Maybe you have that Game 7 dream, but you don't think about or dream about getting the game winner 3 times in 4 games to get to the final when your franchise hasn't been there in nearly 3 decades. 3 game-winning goals in 4 games to send your team to the Cup Final. It's, I don't know, what's the word? Ridiculous. Right, Ricky? Ridiculous.
Sir, in all honesty, it was ridiculous.
Thank you, Alvin. I'll tell you how ridiculous it is. Even Himmy Buckets thinks that Chucky is a badass. I'm not kidding. Jimmy Butler put out an Instagram post last week doing an on-court workout while rocking Chucky's number 19. And why is that? Because recognize like. Game, recognize game. absolute soul-snatching savage recognize absolute soul-snatching savage. What I'm saying to you is Matthew Tkachuk is basically hockey himmy. Matthew Tkachuk is hockey himmy. So it's time he got some bleeping national run. For real.
For real.
Especially since he's very aware that he and the Panthers are still flying under the radar despite their incredible run right through these playoffs. They love it. They love it, man. They're running on that rocket fuel. Proving fools and dopes wrong is all these dudes have been doing the entire postseason, and it didn't just start last night or in this series. If you remember back to round one, this is the same Florida Panther team that was down 3-1 to the alleged best team in NHL history, or at least the team that had the best regular season in NHL history. That's not even subjective. That's just the truth. The Bruins did put up more points in NHL history in the regular season than any team ever. Still, they could not seal the deal in the first round against these same Panthers. I mean, seriously, my half fam is just getting owned. My half fam is getting fully owned by the Miami metro area right now. Somehow, the Panthers pulled off that 3-1 comeback in that series. Somehow, they're 11-1 in the playoffs since they faced that 3-1 deficit. Somehow, they've won 6 of those 11 games in overtime. And I keep saying somehow, but it's really not that big of a mystery. It's not that big of an mystery, I should say, of how this is happening or why this is happening or how much of a shock that it's happening. It's not. The Panthers did win the President's Trophy last year with the best record in the NHL. Now, granted, we've talked many, many times about how that's actually a bad thing, not a good thing. But you have to be a good team to pull that off. Then in the offseason, they added Hockey Himmy to the mix, a.k.a. one of the most clutch ever. And this dude just cannot stop scoring game-winning goals, which is exactly the kind of thing that gets a good team over the hump. Yes, Florida had a disappointing regular season. Who the hell cares? The Miami Heat barely got in. Who the hell cares? Both are getting it done when it matters most. Chucky is getting it done when it matters most. Over and over and over again. Like 3 separate times in one conference finals. It is truly amazing. You know what? Those, like he said, those in the area know. Those outside the area may not know. And maybe I'm opening up, I don't know. I might be opening up a Pandora's box here. However, one could even call what Chucky just pulled off in this series, for lack of a better phrase, a rat trick. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to be the first to know when we do upload a new video.